Hello, good morning, everyone. Hello, everyone which is watching us in Spain, which is watching us in Europe, and also if is watching us outside Europe in Asia and America. Good morning. Today is the 4th of December. At this time is 1 o'clock. And today we have a spectacular webinar, an informative webinar, which we will be speaking about property market in Spain, and specifically in Costa Blanca, in the southeast area of Spain, which is a very attractive area for investment and retire. For this special webinar, we have invited three special guests. We're going to be speaking about the property market and of course about the investment on property. For this reason, we have Sold GUA, which is an expert estate agent. He knows very well specifically this area. Hello, Sold. Good morning.
Hello, Pedro. Good morning to you as well.
Okay, could you give us like a brief explanation about your company, please?
Well, in first place, thank you for the invitation for this webinar. My name is Sold GUA. Actually, my background comes from investment banking. I have lived and worked in several places, in several continents of the world, in South America, in Asia, and a couple of countries in Europe. And now, like for more than 6 years, I'm here in Spain, and we dedicate with our company to property investments. This is a company which focuses on new build properties on the Costa Blanca, this white coast in English. And we are promoting investments and property mainly through our international agents all around Europe, in the basic countries for Spain, which is the UK, Scandinavian countries, German-speaking countries. We have a colleague who's dedicated to the UK market, another colleague who's doing the German-speaking countries, another colleague who's responsible for the Chinese region. And basically, that's what we are doing through agents. For those agents internationally, we are their local experts here in Alicante and actually the whole Costa Blanca.
Okay, perfect. We will have opportunity anyway, just to maybe to check your website. Of course, you will show us and explain about the property market specifically in Costa Blanca. Also, we have a special guest, which is Chiquita Law. Good morning, Chiquita. Buenos días.
Hello.
Hello. And Chiquita is an expert of asset management, of course, on immigration. Could you give us a brief explanation also about your company, please?
Hello, this is Chiquita Law from Hong Kong, and I'm from Hong Kong representing the wealth management industry. My company, Prime Value Capital Management, is a European fund house. We based our headquarters based in Dublin, and we have office in Beijing, Shanghai, Hong Kong, and also London. So we help the high net worth Chinese to do wealth management, investment, and as well as a series of value-added services, which especially immigration service to Europe. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, perfect, Chiquita. We're going to see, not just for all the followers that are listening to this video and watching this video, let's show in a brief video of 2 minutes, what is Costa Blanca?
Maybe because I was born on the Mediterranean, I feel so connected to this sea, to this land, to this light. Because the Costa Blanca is my passion, it's my life, it's who I am. It defines me as a person and sets me apart from the rest. Yes, it's important not to forget who we are and where we come from. That helps us understand the meaning of our lives. By this sea I was born and grew up, laughed and cried too, the emotions of life. Our land is health and well-being, the joy of living, in our own way, in our own style, authentic. That's why so many artists come to the Costa Blanca looking for inspiration, to capture the essence, that light that defines our character. And not just artists. So many people come here and stay. The sky, the landscape, the rosy sunsets, the warm sand under your feet, the sea breeze on your skin, the mountains and seeing the sea from the heights. I love to close my eyes, take a deep breath, and feel the sun on my eyelids, as if the light was inside me. I can't explain it. As my grandmother used to say, life is full of inexplicable things. You have to live them, feel them. I had to live in other parts of the world to really value what we have here. I have everything I need. My future is here. I've learned to enjoy the little things, the little pleasures in life. And we know a lot about those. There's nothing more authentic than feeling happy in the place where you were born. And however hard I try, I can't explain it in words. Costa Blanca, authentically ours.
Okay, well, fantastic video. And we shows in a brief, of course, in 2 minutes time, just a brief pictures about the areas and what really is the sense of Costa Blanca. Before we start with the property market, let me also introduce Ignacio Pellicer, which is an expert lawyer, barrister, an expert on immigration, an expert on property purchase. Hello, Ignacio, good morning.
Hello, Pedro. Thank you for inviting us.
Okay, we will be speaking, of course, regarding the process of buying a property in Spain in a briefly way, in a simple way, of course, and also we will be focusing on golden visa. Okay, Chiquita and Sol, back to you, of course. Let's start questions and let's speak about the property market in Costa Blanca, please.
Yeah, I have a long list of questions. Well, it's a nice video, but you know that a lot of us know Spain well because of Madrid and Barcelona.
That's right. Yeah.
How about Costa Blanca? Tell us why is it special? What is the merit if we Chinese invest in this area?
Yeah, exactly. Such videos are really good because they show like it's like a hidden pearl in Spain that fewer people, quite a few people in China know about, and they really go to Madrid and Barcelona. But it's also true, it's also our advantage because very few people are dealing with Chinese clients on the Costa Blanca. And it is a good point that we have a Chinese personnel, Chinese staff with long experience in property who can be handling the Chinese clients and manage their problems here through the process in Chinese. Why is Costa Blanca, you ask me? Just last week came out a survey done by Internations, which is an organization of expatriates. And the survey was filled out by 15,000 expatriates living all around the world in 66 locations. And guess which were the two best places to live in the world according to expats? It was Valencia, the first one, which is the capital here of the Costa Blanca, we can say. And the second one was Alicante. And I repeat, it was among 66 other locations all around the world, from South Africa, South America, North America, Europe, Asia. And these two cities came out as the two best places to live as an expatriate in the world. Myself, as I mentioned, I have lived in several places in the world, and now more than 6 years I'm here in the Costa Blanca, and actually I'm not planning to leave from here. I have my family here and I feel really good, and I just can confirm what these expatriates said in the survey, because what were the points that they highlighted? Well, the first point was the healthcare. Here in Spain and also in Costa Blanca, where the healthcare is one of the best in the world and it's very affordable. So those people who come here to live, they have a very good healthcare system to take care of them when such a problem arises. Also, they have mentioned affordable housing, mainly here in the Costa Blanca in terms of Valencia and Alicante, which is actually uncomparable with the rest of Spain. Let's compare it with Madrid or Barcelona. Housing prices, accommodation here on the Costa Blanca, in Alicante and Valencia is much lower. And that's also expatriates highlighted there as a positive, their good sense of finances, personal finances. Of course, if you spend if you don't have to spend 60% of your income on housing,
Mm.
it gives you a better notion of living. You feel much more comfortable. And also, if you are living in a society like the Spanish one, where people are really hospitable, really welcoming, it's very easy to make friends. They mention it as a feel at home. So that point as a feel at home, they here in Spain, they can really integrate fast in the society. Here in Costa Blanca, there are many expatriates living, mainly from the northern European countries, British, from the Scandinavian countries, also from Russia, from China. And obviously the infrastructure has adapted to that. So there are many international schools here covering also taking the US education system, and others going according to the British educational system. So people who come here can, their children can study in German, in Chinese, in Russian, in English, in Spanish. So it makes also people that they are not lost just because they don't speak Spanish language. It also helps in the integration. Well, and of course, here are the golf courses. I'm just over the screen. I'm looking over a golf course. There are many golf courses, which is a huge attraction for the people who come here. Why? Not only to play golf, but also as an investment. If you buy a property next to a golf course, or actually on a golf course, you can be sure that the winter season you won't be on zero, because just when the winter comes in the northern countries, in the UK, in Scandinavian countries, it's snowing. Here it's 20 degrees and sunny. So people who play golf come down in January and in December and February to play golf here, because they prefer that than coming down in the summer when it's much hotter. So this fact that there are so many golf courses here also gives a kind of security to your investment if you are renting out your house. Many people do that actually. They buy a house, they rent it out through the summer in the peak season. The owners, they make a hell good of money, and they come down in the winter to enjoy the spring-like winter here and play golf in 20 degrees and sunshine in the winter months.
Yeah, pretty attractive. Actually, I've been Alicante before. Thank you for escorting me there, and it's fantastic. But we all know that the pandemic situation now. So is it still a good time to buy now, or I should wait later, maybe until? Yeah. How could you say that? Yeah.
Of course, the pandemic has made some changes. But not the changes that many people expected or many professionals expected. Before when the pandemic started, I have heard of estimates from people that property prices will drop by 20-30%. I didn't really understand why they say that. And it actually didn't happen. Second-hand property prices have dropped by 1 or 2% on an average. But now that people can see, or owners can see already the light at the end of the tunnel, if they have not such a special condition or special personal circumstance that they have to sell it very fast, they prefer to wait. They won't lower the prices. So before the pandemics, right, starting from 2014, after the big crisis, where prices have reached the bottom, from there we have a constant and stable rise in property prices. Now, during the pandemics, it started to fluctuate a bit, while all other experts and economic experts and property experts expect that the same steady growth will continue after the pandemics. And actually, this a little bit decrease was in the prices of second-hand properties. But in the new build properties, which we focus on mainly, there was not one penny of price drop. So developers have maintained their prices. What happened to developers? Now they offer some extras, the lights they put in for you, they prepare the garden for you, things like this. And they give some more favorable or flexible payment conditions. So that's all what happened here. regarding the prices. So everybody is expecting the same tendency as before the pandemics. And also what favors even more Spain, because when somebody buys in Spain, he really wants to have a lifestyle change. And now, because of the pandemics, also workers and companies have recognized that distant or home office and distant working actually works. It's not a big deal. So those people who are working online somewhere in the northern countries, they come down to Spain. They have a huge lifestyle change to the positive, and they go on with the same work that they have been doing before. They're working for the same company, doing the same things, but already they can play golf in January. They can go down to the beach. They can explore the culture and historical sites and have a really good experience here in Spain, instead of sitting in the rain or in the snow up in the north. So that's also a favor of Spain now, that people can afford coming down here and go on with the same work they have done before.
I see. Well, as I said, I personally been there, and I saw how beautiful, how nice, and how comfortable those houses are, well, compared to Hong Kong and Beijing, right? Shanghai. So can you show us straight away how attractive these properties are? Do you have a specific project to illustrate?
Well, we have something like 55 or 56 projects listed all along the Costa Blanca. I will show you one which is, according to myself, is a very good price and value proportion. I will show it in Chinese. For those who don't read Chinese, I'm one of them. So I don't exactly know what's written there, but I know the project. So this is a project here in Benidorm. Benidorm is a center of British tourists and British expatriates living there, coming there for to play golf, to have parties. But this is not in Benidorm. This is 5 minutes from Benidorm, from the sea, from the beach, where there are several projects, apartments, new villas, small villas, big villas, and the infrastructure has, as I said, adapted to that. There are 2 golf courses right next to this project. There is Asian Gardens, a 5-star hotel with great facilities inside, and there are Michelin star restaurants just next to this project here. So this one,
it's fantastic. It looks like fantastic. It looks like very well. Well, very, very nice. Yeah.
Also, and if you take a look at the price, these apartments starts from 210,000 euros. They go up to 380. The penthouse is on the top. I will show you also. I wanted to mention that when somebody comes in Spain or living in Spain, the outside exterior spaces are very important. So when somebody lives here, if you don't count the hours that you are sleeping, you will probably spend more time outside than inside. And this makes that property developers usually build and construct even apartments with huge terraces. You can see it here. The square meter of a house or an apartment is between 95 and 170, but the terraces go from 35 to 69 square meters. Which makes a huge difference if you compare it with, let's say, Paris, or you compare it with a Hong Kong apartment in the city, where you're actually confined to be inside. And now, because of the lockdown, Spanish people are looking much more for outer spaces. They are looking much more for houses with big terrace, with at least a small garden. If it happens again during the lockdown, they can spend time outside as well. You can see here in the background the skyscrapers of Benidorm. It's really 5 minutes by car. You are on the beach. The Alicante airport is 40 minutes from here. 5 minutes is one of the golf courses. So it's a very conveniently located project, and it's staffed with really a lot of in-house services. You have a gym, you have a sauna, 2 swimming pools, 1 swimming pool inside, a covered one, sport fields, a gourmet section, a mini golf. I can't even name all of them. And it's wheelchair accessible, which is a very important point for people who want to rent it out. Because many times people who come here, they are elderly people. And often they look for places which are wheelchair accessible. It's an important point. You can see some pictures from inside.
So nice.
Great qualities. You can see the windows go from top to bottom. This is to let the light in. So, and in Spain we have quite a lot from that light. And here is what I just said. You see the size of the interior area and the size of the terrace. So the terrace is practically 1/3 of the whole property, or half of the inside area. Very important here in Spain to have that exterior space.
Well, with that price, I'm not sure whether you can buy a 20 square meter an apartment here in Hong Kong, or maybe agricultural land. Okay, so we know that in Spain, we can buy a property and get an identity, Spanish identity. So by the Golden Visa program. So back to the legal team. So can you tell me or tell us give us a briefing on the Golden Visa program in Spain? Yeah, the requirements.
Okay, thank you, Chiquita. Thank you, Sol. It's been a spectacular project. I really like it. Okay, well, let's make a brief explanation about Golden Visa. I will share some PowerPoint in order just to conduct what is going to be said.
Yes, please.
Okay, well, in Spain we have a Spanish investment, is a visa program, is an investor visa, which is named Golden Visa. Golden Visa, there are different kind of investments. One of them, which is the lowest investment that you need to do, is through a property. And we will see which is the minimum requirement for investing in a property is 500,000 euros. So, as I said, investing over 500,000 euros in a property in Spain. One could be a question, and it's something that all the clients apply for that. Can be bought 2 properties, has to be 1 property, yes, no, can be bought any property. Could be a land, could be a commercial, could be 2, 3 different apartments, but the investment needs to be more than 500,000 euros. Of course, can be bought just 1 property, which is over 500,000 euros, and it's perfect, it's enough. What that this visa grants to you, as I says, you can see in the PPT, is the right to reside in Spain and travel into Europe. When I say reside, it's to entry, to live, or be resident if you want to. You don't have to. There is no obligation to be resident in Spain, but you have the right to, in case that you wanted to. What kind of countries are you able to enter? Well, Schengen area, which countries are included in Schengen area? Well, all those countries, you will be able, once you have a investor visa in Spain, you will be able to move freely. With some limitations, I mean, at least 3 months, each 6 months, but of course we have the possibility to visit all those countries because you already got the visa. Okay, important thing, what you need to comply, really, in order to get a Golden Visa. You don't have to be resident in Spain, of course, it's not being resident in Spain. Not European Union citizen. At the end, immigration office in Spain works in like 2 queues. One queue is for European Union citizens, and the other queue is for non-European Union citizens, where this program, the Golden Visa program, stays. So, not to be European Union citizen, of course, not being living in Spain illegally, do not have any background or any record in Spain to having lived illegally, being older than 18 years old, no criminal records for the last 5 years. That is it's important, and of course, as it is a golden visa that allows you to live and be resident in Spain in case that you want to. You have to show that you have enough money to live in Spain without working, but you can work in case that you want to. Of course, with some management that needs to be done with some documents. But you have to show, you have to accredit sufficient money to live in Spain with some minimums. I will tell later that. Important, and this is something that is always asked by clients, is this just the principal who is applying for golden visa, or can I bring my family, my spouse, my husband, my wife, my children, even though my parents? All these questions always arise on golden visa. Well, you can see in the list, spouse or partner. I mean, regarding partner is a subjective situation, but of course can be done also by a partner. Children, which is less than 18 years old or legal age, but economic dependent. Let's think about some children that is studying in the university. And dependent parents, ascendants, we're talking about parents. In these situations, in some ways is very sometimes limited, restricted, but can be done if they are economic dependent. Okay. In kind of investments, there are several kind of investment. What we say, and I will say that 95% of a golden visa the vehicle is conducted through property investment, which is 500,000 euros. Let's make questions, write some questions. What if I buy a property of 500,000 euros, but I apply for a mortgage of half of that? Well, the application will be rejected. You need to invest 500 euros. In case that you want to apply for a loan, at the end, you need to show to the immigration office, in this case, that you have invested 500,000 euros. So what if I buy a property of 800,000 euros and I put from my pocket 500,000 euros and I get from the bank 300,000 euros? Perfect. At the end, as much as you show that you have made an investment of 500,000 euros is perfect. You can apply for a mortgage in Spain, and banks right now are open, of course, to study any situation of financing. But you need to, at the end, you need to bring from your pocket really 500,000 euros. As you can see in the list, there are all the different kind of investments, but let's focus on the property investment. Documents that we need, well, passports and the health support, which is private and public. Of course, we recommend at the beginning to start with the private one, with a good policy of insurance for the principal and for the family, in case someone is applying also for family, and show with banking statements, with financial documents, all these to accredit that you have sufficient money to live in Spain. And well, the NI number, which is a tax number, is simple to get it. And well, with that, and of course, the investment that you've done. Investment is, we will talk, and Ignacio will focus on the process of buying a property. Once you inscribe the property in the land registry, then we will get some certification in order to show it to the immigration office. So important, you will be able to work in Spain and live in Spain. But you just can be one day, for example, in Spain, and that's all. But you don't have to be resident. And if you are not resident, if you don't live more than 183 days in Spain, you will not be tax resident. I don't know if we need to enter on these situations, but let's focus on the. This is important. We can apply for 1 year, plus 2 years, plus 5 years. In order to renew all these periods of time, the investment needs to be maintained. The investment needs to be maintained, which means at the end, if someone is buying a property, well, need to maintain the investment. Could be sold and could be bought another one, of course, in a rapid way, really. It is not just a matter of that you invest and then you sell, and then 2 years after you buy again. But the maintenance of investment, you need to show whenever you renew that the investment has been maintained, this is important. Okay, and just to finalize, of course, let's open, of course, to any question may arise. The resolution is is in around 10 days. We are getting the resolution around 10 days, I say. And it is really automatically. We have experience with Chinese clients regarding, for example, this kind of investment visa or a different kind of visa, because, for example, a non-lucrative visa, which is very subjective, it's a lot more difficult, and obligates you to live and be resident in Spain with all the tax implications that have in Spain. But with the Golden Visa, it's a perfect vehicle in order to invest, get the property for your family, and you can invest in different properties. You can also invest in properties in order to rent it and get some profits. As it's been said by Sol, that is a good opportunity. And this area is attracted to many non-European Union tourists and citizens to live and visit Spain. So it's a fantastic vehicle with an investment to bring your family, being flexible to not to have to be resident in Spain perfectly. And of course, to be attractive, well, one of them right now, I would say, the most attractive areas in Spain and probably in the world, as Sol have said, because of this statistic about expats, that Alicante and Valencia, we are right now in first and second position in that statistics. And for me, this presentation about Golden Visa, Chiquita, is finished. Of course, if you have any questions, we may go to the process of buying a property, which Ignacio will be giving us some tips about that. But if, Chiquita, would you like to add anything or?
Yeah. Thank you very much. It's a very detailed explanation. But well, in China, when we buy property, actually we don't need a lawyer, and so we know that in Spain, especially when we apply the Golden Visa with a property, we need your help. And could you tell us more specifically to our investors, what is your role in the purchase of the property as well as the application of the visa, Golden Visa?
Okay, Ignacio, if you may want to introduce about the process of buying a property.
Okay, thank you, Chiquita, and thank you, Salt, as well, for it was very good presentation. Now, buying a property in Spain, Chiquita, is always safe, but we highly recommend to have the help of a lawyer who helps you from A to Z on the process of buying a property. Just bear in mind that you don't speak the language, you don't know the area, the clients is a lot of stress on paperwork, and you don't need that, okay? Now, using a lawyer is not compulsory, but is highly recommended, because the amount of work we do for clients, they will have to do themselves. And I don't see this feasible, not knowing not only the language, just the legal system and the timing. So as Pedro explained, helping your clients to assisting them on the process of getting a property in Spain or buying a property. So the first thing a client will do is select the property that fits their interest, okay? I'm sure you've got a portfolio of property that might suit clients best. Why we think Alicante is a great area? Well, not only because of the sun, the quality of life, and the legal system is safe here in Spain, but the prices are very good for clients. And as Pedro stated, you could do an investment, which is for Golden Visa, it will be over 500,000 euros, but there is another type of visas which doesn't require that lump sum of 500, so you could still have a lower and still going for a non-lucrative visa. However, that non-lucrative visa is more than 6 months that they must stay here. That's why we always recommend, if clients are buying a property in Spain, they could have over 500,000 euros, Golden Visa, they could come in and out, and they could still be tax resident in Asia. Okay, so that's a very important. We really help clients on the tax implication as a non-resident. As a non-resident, there is very few non-resident tax to pay here. So it's very, very attractive on that respect. And they could come in and out with their family with this permit, because the golden visa is just a visa for you to come in and out. Don't get confused with being fiscal resident. Now, when they have decided to buy a property in Spain, they will choose the property of their dream or whatever they want to approach, and they will make a deposit. On that deposit, we will help the client to organize power of attorney. That means the client will come to Spain. We will help them to organize power of attorney, even from the Spanish consulate in China, in Hong Kong, wherever part of the world. They could grant the power of attorney to us, so we could help them from abroad already being there. If they have questions, they could always ask you or ask us through video conference. It's not a problem at all. Okay, once they have decided they want to buy a property, they will have the money ready. There will be two types of properties, as Salt has shown us. It could be an off-plan property on constructions, or there will be a resale property ready for them to buy. Once they put down the money and sign the contract, the lawyer will make sure that all the legalities are according to law, and the client is fully protected from a legal point of view. Okay, so we will always ask if it's an off-plan property for the bank guarantees to the developer, so the money is guaranteed in case of bankruptcy or breach of contract. So we always look after that for the client. Then on completion, once the property is ready to go, if it's a resale, probably you could just complete in 2 or 3 months. We will complete and sign the property over to the client. So the builder or the developer or the owner will pass it on to the buyer. And if the buyer doesn't necessarily need to be here, we could be here with power of attorney. Once we complete the property transaction, we could start the process. Well, obviously we'll have most of the documents for the golden visa once we've got the deed, which is one of the requirements for the immigration office to know that this property is in the client's name, it's free of charges, so at least it's 500,000 euros net in the family name. And then, as Pedro explained, it will go to the land registry, and eventually, in the time period that Pedro mentioned, will go the golden visa. Okay, now we make sure that the type of investment is legal, is correct, there are not charges, the licenses are all in place, there is no issue, money is protected, and the good thing with the power of attorney, it will cover having them all the process through, even not being present in Spain. They could just come over here, visit the property with Salt, with yourself, and then once they have made their decision, they could give us instructions so we could do everything according to their instruction, Chiquita. So buying a property is safe, but it's highly recommended to use an independent lawyer that looks after their interests and protect their interests all the way through from the very beginning to the end. I think Juanfran is going to share with you now a type of help we could do for clients so they feel completely comfortable with us. Juanfran, over to you.
Okay. So you are sharing us the
Juanfran.
Okay.
I think Juanfran might be having some problems now.
So, but
there we go.
Trust is vital when you're in another country. If you want to buy a home, set up business relationships, or apply for a residence permit, you need to be able to count on the best independent legal aid. Pellicer&Heredia is an international firm of lawyers with over 20 years experience and one single aim: for you to live at ease in Spain. In order to give you a clear, streamlined, and fast response, we work with a cross-disciplinary team of professionals specializing in the main legal fields: civil law, foreigners' affairs, business law, tax and financial law, and international law. And to ensure that you're kept informed and up to date with everything, we have 6 offices on the Eastern Coast. Whether you're from here or abroad, we will always stand by you and speak your language. Our relationship is based on openness, professionalism, and a commitment to finding legal solutions in your best interests and for your peace of mind. Pellicer&Heredia, international lawyers.
Okay, thank you, Juanfran. I will pass it, Chiquita, over to Pedro, and you could start making questions. I know we're running out of time, so Pedro, over to you.
Okay, I see that from your PowerPoint, you said you speak our language.
That's right. We are on the same level of knowledge.
Okay, so the normal lead time. So from buying the property and finally get a golden visa, how long normally does it take?
Is it over to Pedro?
So sorry, I didn't understand. How long it takes the process of getting the golden visa, you said?
Yeah. The whole process, how long does it take?
Well, as much as we get, of course, all the information regarding the criminal records, properly done, we need to check, of course, all the documents, which is the insurance policy, which will, of course, we will help clients to obtain that. And of course, we will manage in order to get a certification from land registry. And regarding criminal records and all this information that we have said, the bank statements and financial situation about the client, in order to show that this has sufficient money to live in Spain, all that requirements that is being showed. As I said, once we get all the documents and we made the application, should be, I will say between 10 to 20 days. We've made several investment visa, golden visa from citizens from China, from America, from Canada, from Russia. And it's taken between 10 to 20 days. Maybe right now, because of this period of time of COVID, maybe it's taken a little bit more time. Let's say, I said in the PowerPoint it's 10 days, but maybe it takes 15, maybe a little bit more, but no more than that. And as I said, it's automatically. It is, if you fulfill the requirements, you get it, full stop. There are other visas that is not like that. It's subjective interpretation by some visa chiefs. But this one, golden visa, you show investment, you have an insurance to stay in Spain, you show that you have enough money to live in Spain, you get the golden visa. Okay, I see. So back to Salt, if I now want to buy a property, what is the cost of purchase? Can you show us a bit, the cost?
Well, yes. One very important thing is that when you see a price, that is always a net price. Just as Ignacio mentioned, that the investment for the golden visa has to be a net investment without any taxes, fees, a net price. Let me show you a little. Okay, does it work? So the net price plus these are the fees that a buyer has to calculate with when buying a property in Spain. The VAT in Spain for property purchase is 10%. Plus you have the stamp duty, 1.5%, notary fees, more or less 0.5%, land registry fee, more or less 0.5%, and the legal fees. The normal cost of legal advice and legal management of your purchase is 1%. Is that right, Ignacio?
Yes, that's correct. That's the average price that we're charging in general for handling a conveyancing.
Exactly. So you, if you consider you are making an investment or buying a property for 500,000, this is what you have to calculate with on top of that as a cost of purchase, 13.5% altogether, and nothing else. When somebody is making a purchase with us, the buyer will be always in direct contact with the developer. We are not receiving any funds from the clients. Everything goes directly to the developer. So it gives the client a security that they are not overpriced what they are buying through us, and that they are really paying only the fees and costs which are determined by the state all the taxes and the related fees. So this usually gives a security to our buyers, so that just in plain words, they are not cheated. So they exactly pay what the property is worth. There is no possibility of changing the prices. There is no possibility of raising or bargaining. It's the net price, which is determined by the developer directly.
Thank you. So my last question, maybe each of you can share to our Chinese investors briefly how you like Costa Blanca and what's the lifestyle, something like that. Share briefly, yeah.
Well, I think for me, being a Hungarian, being an expatriate here is more. So the question is more dedicated to me, because Spanish people, Ignacio and Pedro, they are maybe too subjective on that.
Exactly.
On that issue. But as for myself, I could sum it up in a very short sentence or a couple of words. The lifestyle here is quite a laid-back lifestyle. So as I mentioned, when somebody is buying property here, he's not buying the bricks. He's buying into upgrade of lifestyle to come here to Spain. I have a small son here and my wife here. Every weekend we go down to the beach in the winter, in the summer. There are many children here. Spain is very child friendly. There are a lot of playgrounds all around. There are a lot of leisure activities to do during the week and on the weekends, not counting the several golf courses. There are many theme parks, aqua parks, all kind of cultural activities here in Spain that are not really only for the Spanish people. So tourists and expatriates here all the time enjoy the San Juan festivities in June, in December, or the Eastern festivities, the processions. For me, it's really a very optimal place to live. And as I mentioned in the beginning, I'm not planning to move on. Having lived in several places, I think I'm going to settle down here for a longer time. So my little son will be more Spanish than anyone else.
Yes. Let me just say something about, of course, as I agree that for Ignacio and for myself is subjective. Of course, we are from Alicante. I was born in Alicante, but I've been living in many places in the world. I've been visiting many places in the world, in the United States, United Kingdom, many countries in Europe. I've been, which I had a really fantastic time when I was in China, in Beijing, in Guangzhou, in Singapore. I was visiting the Spanish consulate because of the immigration issues and having appointments with the visa chiefs. And well, at the end, Alicante, this Costa Blanca, Valencia, this specific area is attracted not just now. It's been many years attracting North European Union tourists and tourists from around the world, but also to retire, to invest in property, to live here. Families are coming here to live right now because of the COVID situation. We are receiving many queries, and people is thinking about coming to Spain to live in Spain and work with a computer, and not to have to be present on the work in, for example, in Netherlands or in Norway or in Sweden. So right now, this area is specifically is attracting many people to stay here with the family, to invest. And well, I would just want to finalize. Right now there's an advert in Spain. It says it's by a very famous gastronomy cooker. It is named Jose Andres. It's in America. That he says that Spain is the most richest country in the world. But of course, not about money. It's about gastronomy, about culture, about the dynamic life, and because of the climate and the people it really attracts tourists and investors. And nothing else. I don't know if Ignacio wants to say something about that.
Yes.
No, sorry, Pedro.
Go on, Salt. Yeah, go on.
No, I just wanted to mention that myself, I really like doing sports, for example, and I've been grown up in a country without any sea. So now when I came to Spain, I started to do surfing. But in the winter, 3 hours from here, there is the Sierra Nevada with more than 100 kilometers of ski pistes to ski. So you can do here really whatever you want. You can play football, you can play tennis, you can do any kind of water sport, you can go skiing. It's really, you get everything of the good here. This is my subjective opinion, so as an expatriate here, but I think I have gone through. Sorry, I have gone through the same process of house purchase, getting integrated, all the same process when somebody comes here. So I'm pretty sure that myself and my colleagues here can help not only with the official issues here, but also with some local tips for the people who come here to buy a property, live here, or just spend here a couple of weeks every year.
Let me just add, Salt, to what you just said. Pedro and yourself said, I agree. We live here. We've lived here most of our lives, even though we just travel around the world and we get to know a lot of places. But we did share with you here on the panel. I don't know whether Chiquita and yourself could just pass it to your clients, this article about what you just mentioned, is about why Alicante area. Actually, Costa Blanca is more Alicante. And we're very proud that just these cities like by the Mediterranean is being so very well highly appreciated, but not from us, just from clients, from expat people who like to retire and spend time, live here, do business, or just only lay down and enjoy, as you said, about life. So it is not as about telling is a great place to be, is a good option. It's just even the interviews are very well credited and they're very well explained on that. So I'm glad we have a place here where we could enjoy life, which is very important, Chiquita. It is very important.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for all. These are all my questions.
Thank you, Pedro. Over to you.
Okay. Well, thank you all of you. Thank you, Salt. Thank you, Chiquita and Ignacio. It's been a pleasure meeting you. It's been a pleasure speaking to you about Costa Blanca, about investment, about property, golden visa, about the process of buying a property in Spain. And I just wanted to add from, of course, my point of view as a lawyer, just to, whenever you make an investment, do it safe and try to be in a safe position, and of course, be informed about any situation and be helped by professionals, independent professionals like a lawyer or like an advocate, a barrister. Okay, well, I just wanted to give you the last conclusions to all of you. Salt, would you like to just finalize?
I just really want to thank you for the invitation here and allowing me to share my subjective view on the Costa Blanca as well, not only the professional side. So I just can, how do you say, to push the people to explore this part of Spain as well, because it's really worth it. And I'm sure that once you come here, you will see the beauty and the uniqueness of this place, not only from the culture and history point of view, but also as a possibility of lifestyle change for yourself and for your family. So we are here to attend you and happy to serve you.
That's right. Thank you, Salt. And okay, over to you, Chiquita. Would you like just to finalize with some words?
Okay, what I remember from this video is that you will speak my language.
we wish you could speak your language, but of course in English we can speak.
No problem. We have the staff for that, so don't worry.
Exactly. Okay, thank you, Chiquita, and well, Ignacio, over to you. Just some words just to finalize.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for both of you. It's been a pleasure to share with you. Probably Chiquita doesn't know that the best paellas probably are in this area. I don't know if she knows, but that's one of the reasons why you should come over and have and enjoy a meal. Looking forward to seeing you whenever you've got the time to come over. Thank you, Salt, for putting so much energy into Costa Blanca, and I'm glad you enjoy it. And thank you, Pedro, for passing and communicating this today to all the Asia clients, potential people who might be interested to know a little bit more about living in Spain, specifically Costa Blanca. So thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, all of you. Have a nice day. Have a nice weekend. Bye-bye.
Have a nice evening, Chiquita. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.